Hi, and welcome to Digital Tech Reviews and Tips, guys. My name is Gabe, and today in this video, I'm just doing a quick test of the GoPro Macro Lens Mod with the GoPro Hero 13 to help you get a closer look, that was a terrible pun, at this tiny little accessory and better decide whether or not you should spend your money on it. Because, well, first off, it's not what I would call cheap. It starts at $130, and while you can pretty quickly get that down to $104 if you have a GoPro subscription, like, even $104 is not cheap. I mean, that's like 20 or 25% of the price of the action camera, but if it does help you better achieve your creative vision or get more use out of your new action camera, then I would argue it's probably worth it. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what this offers. Starting with what is a macro lens. I mean, just very quickly, it helps you get closer to your subject while keeping it in focus. And for action cameras, this is actually a big deal because they use a fixed focus system. So basically everything from like 2 feet out to infinity will be in focus, which is great because that's awesome. You'll never miss focus, except for if it's closer than 2 feet, and then it very quickly goes out of focus. And you can see now those people are in focus behind me, the building's in focus, but now I'm out of focus. My hat's out of focus. The lens is out of focus. Like, yeah, this can be an issue if you want to film in situations where you're closer to your subject. So for a long time, people who wanted to film in situations like that just have not been able to get action cameras. But now we have the Macro Lens Mod from GoPro, so potentially all of our problems are solved. I don't know. That's what we're going to find out. Right now, I'm testing out the GoPro 13, just standard lens, filming at 5.3K, 30 frames a second in the wide field of view. And I'll just move around, swing around a little bit more, give you an idea of what that looks like before we now keep those same settings as far as frame rate and resolution, but put on the macro lens and see how that affects the quality of picture that we're getting out of the GoPro camera. So let's pop that on and see what we get. Okay, now we're using the Macro Lens Mod on the GoPro Hero 13 with the same settings as before. So while the hopefully image quality looks pretty similar to before, like a no loss in quality at least, now the added bonus is that the background should be out of focus. Because yeah, basically how the Macro Lens Mod works is the furthest it can focus on stuff is 2.5 feet, which is what I have it set to currently. So 2.5 feet hopefully is where I am. And then stuff behind me starts to go out of focus, and stuff in front of me also increasingly goes out of focus. But then if I twist the dial on the lens and bring it closer, boom, now we can go up to 4.3 inches close. So I don't know why you'd want this shot. Like, I don't know, shot of my hand maybe, 4.3 inches-ish away. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want a shot that close, but you can do it, I guess. And maybe a better example is like here we have these flowers. Well, while I'm pointed away, you can see everything is out of focus. But then here we go, boom, flowers are in focus, and that's 4.3 inches. If I rack focus, you know, going the other way, you can see that the flowers go out of focus, and now maybe like those flowers or my hand are in focus. But then when I bring back focus this way, boom, those flowers now close up are in focus. So yeah, well, first off, the one thing, it works. Like, I can't fault GoPro on that. The Macro Lens Mod does what it says. It allows you to get closer to things and still keep them in focus. Now, that being said, there are 3 big issues I have with this lens. Number one, the first one, simple but massive, it's not waterproof. So there goes like, I don't know, at least 25 to 50% of the intended use of the GoPro action camera. Like, if you want to go, I don't know, kayaking, go to the beach even, like the big one is snorkeling, scuba diving. Like, I imagine so many people who do that would want to use this accessory to potentially get closer to fish and coral and stuff like that underwater, but no, you cannot do that because the Macro Lens Mod is not waterproof. Now, all right, so you don't want to use it in water. Cool, maybe it's still right for you. Well, number two, the big issue is that manual focus. Like if you're ever using it in a situation where stuff gets close all of a sudden, okay, or gets far away all of a sudden, okay, then you have to change that. Like, yeah, it's just a pain. Autofocus is so easy and so good, and manual focus kind of just sucks, especially on an action camera where stuff is often moving around. And like even now I'm like, okay, where is it set? And that's the other thing with the manual focus is there's no line actually on the lens itself to let you know where in that range of 4.3 inches to 2.5 feet it is. So, okay, and then what else about focus? Well, guess what? Remember how stuff behind me is out of focus because 2.5 feet is the max focusing distance? Well, that brings me to problem number three, in that it's really hard to change this lens out. Like you saw earlier, about 15 to 20 seconds it takes to swap this lens. So say you have it on and then you, oh quick, I gotta get a shot of that thing, but you can't because it's further than 2.5 feet away. And now you have to quickly try to swap lenses back to the standard lens so you can get the shot. And then you want to get a close-up shot and it's like, okay, I gotta put the lens back on. So you got the lens back on for the close-up shot, and then you're like, oh wait, I need to go in the water, or it's starting to rain or whatever, and now you have to put the standard lens back. Like, it's just a pain, guys. So I really would not recommend this to most people out there, like who just want it for a general use and like, maybe I'll use it to get some close-up shot. No, don't waste your money on it, guys. I'm sorry, I wish I could recommend it to more people. I don't want to be such a Debbie Downer or whatever, but really this lens is intended for niche audiences, like specifically people who have, maybe you want to mount it on the back of a mountain bike and get a close-up shot of the derailleur changing gears as the bike goes down the trail. Like in that situation, this would be great. You mount it on, it's not going to change distance from your subject, it's not going to be hit with a ton of water most likely, and you mount it, boom, set the focusing distance, and you get your shot. So would work beautiful in that situation. If maybe you, I don't know, I tried getting some food shots, like mounting it on a plate and getting kind of like some food POV of the food shots as you walk through a restaurant or whatnot. Like in that situation, it kind of works, but also then you're filming indoors, which is not great for GoPro cameras. They just don't work well in that situation. So really niche audience for this product. If you're outside that niche, I would pass on it, save your money, look to some other cool mount or whatever, or even use your smartphone, because smartphones, most of them have a macro mode or a macro capable camera built in. So just use that. And if also you were intending, but I can, use it to get bokeh, like out of focus vlogging shots. Well, still again, use your smartphone. It's probably at least as good as the GoPro camera. Like I did a quick comparison test between this and my iPhone 14 Pro Max. And as you can see, like they look pretty similar. Like maybe in the vlogging shots, the GoPro looks a little better because it kept the contrast a little sharper. But in the talking head shots, the iPhone definitely looks better because it has a much more shallow depth of field and can throw that background out of focus much easier with the main camera versus the wide angle that you're stuck with even using like the GoPro 13 with the macro lens accessory. But anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I am absolutely sweating my ass off out here in the Malaysian heat, so I'm gonna end this video. If you are still watching, please click like, subscribe, comment, use the affiliate links, because guess what? The sponsor of today's video, myself, would very much appreciate that because I do sponsor all my own videos. I don't take sponsors unless I'm going to disclose them. And for this video, this is unsponsored, me just testing out the Macro Lens Mod to help you make a better purchasing decision. So anyways, that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you are still watching, peace out. And as always, have a nice day. Bye.